right, here we go. Vasyl in the white trunks with the gold trim. In the red and green is Romulo Koasicha. You notice right away that Vasyl Lomachenko is a southpaw, jabbing with the right hand, the right foot forward. Mexican fighter looks very relaxed. Lets his jab go, trying to keep the champ off him. Lomachenko just shifting from side to side, seeing what he can do with this guy early. Does a little bit of feigning to see how this guy moves. Koasicha hasn't felt any of the power of Lomachenko to this point, with almost a minute gone here in round number 1.
Vasyly's dad, who is in his corner and is his trainer, always has him starting off a little bit slow, kind of holds him back a little bit in the beginning of the fight. Sometimes you'll even hear him say in the corner after maybe the second or third round, okay, now you can step it up. So we'll see if that lends itself to be true tonight.
So far he hasn't done much offensively, but you get the idea that anytime he wants to turn it up a notch, he can. Koasicha is fighting very cautiously in the opening get-go. He lets the right hand go. Lomachenko shows you how quick he is with his body movements. Steps up into his right jab. He's feeling this guy out here in the early going. Avoiding all the jabs of Koasicha. Koasicha hasn't been able to land much of anything here, and Lomachenko hasn't elected to do much offense at all. Even that left hand was not a committed left hand. He's just really feeling this guy out. Lets his hands go, but he wasn't sitting down on those punches, not the way he can. Inside of 45 seconds to go in the first round. Koasicha has tried to be more aggressive, but jabbing off that front foot and just feeling him out continually throughout this first round is Vasyl.
Yeah, we asked if he was going to just try to come forward and pressure and smother Lomachenko, kind of like Solido did. And he said, I'm going to come forward, I'm going to put pressure, but I'm going to do it with intelligence. I don't want to get reckless in there. So we'll see if he turns it up in the next few rounds, because right now he's a little bit timid.
Yeah, he is, and it's very hard to think that he may be able to outbox Lomachenko. So his best shot might be to just throw his ears back and have at him. That time Lomachenko, right at the end of the round, nailed him with a shot to the solar plexus. I mean, that was a nothing round for both guys. So we'll see how the judges score that one. I suppose because he's the champion, you give it to Lomachenko.
Paul just felt like maybe he was a little bit more in control.
Ring generalship, yeah, that's one of the things they score on. So based on that, we'll give it to Lomachenko.
Пошел к нему, стоишь там, сделал движение, и стоишь секунду, что ждешь, не ждать. Он может выбросить сразу после твоей атаки, поэтому собрано, внимательно после своей атаки быть готовым повторить еще раз. Понял?
And again, in case you're wondering why Koasicha is wearing that Rising Sun in his corner, wearing the Rising Sun headbands, it's because, as we pointed out, his friend was Japanese and settled in Mexico. There's great respect for the heritage of his blood. There he is, Romulo Koasicha. Vasyl Lomachenko in the white trunks with the gold trim. Let's see if they both pick it up here a bit. You get the idea that Lomachenko wants to turn it up just a notch here in the second round. He did all the feeling out he has, so you see the lightning speed he has with that jab. Lomachenko doubles with the jab. One caught him, the second one didn't. Kind of a hooking movement with the jab that time.
A lot of people were questioning why Koasicha, not many people knew about him, and obviously he lost to Selby, but as we mentioned earlier, it's tough to find opponents that want to come in and fight Lomachenko.
And nobody wants to fight this guy.
It's like if he was a middleweight, you think Gennady Golovkin would want to fight him? You know, it's like, it's tough. It's tough. He's got so many skills in his bag. And look, Lomachenko for this fight is making $750,000. Guess how much Koasicha is making?
How much?
$35,000.
No, that's fair.
Which in Mexico,
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But I mean, it just goes to show you
But Lomachenko is the
He's
star.
a champion.
He's the star and the Olympic champ, and that's what they make.
You better believe if he's going to get in the ring with Rigondeaux, that Rigondeaux's going to make a little bit more money than that. But those are some talks that have been in the works now for some time. Also, Nonito Donaire mentioned he's interested, so would involve maybe a little bit of a move up in weight, depending on the opponent. But he mentioned no problem.
Yeah, he'll fight anybody he has to. He wants to be the best he can be, and he's just got so many skills. He moves so well. And his 4 wins, he's got 2 knockouts. Other 2 fights went the distance.
Something I thought was unique that he said in our meeting, so Colonel, is that it's like, I feel like you guys are putting more pressure on me because everyone has such high expectations for him. And he's like, I've only had 4 fights, but you know, we only call what we see and see what we see. And he seems like a special fighter.
And there's Koasicha trying to make a fight out of it here as he tries to put pressure on Lomachenko. And Lomachenko doesn't bite. He just walks around, boxes him off. Lomachenko definitely the aggressor. He's definitely the ring general. He dictates when they engage. See that, the hand speed there, head going one way, then right back the other way. That's just flashes of what Lomachenko can do. That's the right hand go.
The angles and the footwork.
Yeah, well, he's a big devotee of how important footwork is, and boy, he shows it out there.
Yeah, for him, one of the pillars of being a star is that footwork.
Round 2 in the books. That's 2 in the books for Lomachenko. Well, our main event of the evening is coming up next. Timothy Bradley versus Brandon Rios. There's Timothy with his new trainer, Teddy Atlas. It's amazing the way Teddy got emotional when he talked about taking care of his charge, and Tim has said he's bought into everything that Teddy has taught him. And of course, this guy, a wild man in the ring, and a great guy to be around outside the ring. You know, try to think about what would you say positive about these 2 guys. Well, this guy is the type of guy you want to go with him and his buddies to a bar room and watch a football game. Timothy, you want to bring home to your mother for dinner.
Yeah, sums it up perfectly.
Both of them equally fun.
But they're so opposite in terms of their demeanor.
They really are. Okay, we move to round number 3 here. The Colonel Bob Sheridan along with Christina Poncher, our principals in there, in the white trunks. Vasyl Lomachenko, Romulo Koasicha in the green and red. Let's see if Lomachenko turns it up another notch, or does Koasicha try to turn it up a notch. They both seem like they want to do a little bit more, but much more aggressive now in the 3rd round than he was in the 1st round is Lomachenko. His name is spelled V-A-S-Y-L, so some people call him Vasyl, but he says, and the people around him say his name is Vasyl.
Well, and I think he even spells it with the I himself on the end of it sometimes. So it was something I asked him a lot. I feel like we got to know multiple languages nowadays. We have so many Eastern European fighters and Ukrainian fighters, and it's just South American, Russian, everywhere, Filipino. We can go with high tech.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Koasicha moving in and out. Now he slides around to his right, sets up in front of the guy, doesn't let anything go. So with that said, look at the footwork again of Lomachenko, folks. He comes in, lets his hands go, just sort of speed bagging him until he can set him up for a heavy blow. And there's the real hard one downstairs. Back upstairs with the left hand. Now Lomachenko's in 2nd gear. There's a hard body shot with the left hand. Right back comes Koasicha over the top, but didn't quite catch him. Koasicha knows what he's doing.
He does, got out of that well, worked his way out of it, back to the middle of the ring, because he'll be in trouble if he keeps his back on the ropes.
He's already got a bad bruise underneath his right eye on his cheekbone. depending on where you're from in Mexico, you may have high cheekbones like a Julio Cesar Chavez. And there's Lomachenko putting it on. The Mexican fighter comes right back at him. The grab, and Lomachenko wants no part of that and pulls his hands out of there. Lomachenko has a little bit of a bruise underneath his right eye as well. He just got clipped with a good left hook.
I think that's the second time.
Straight right hand from Koasicha. Koasicha's bruised below both eyes now. Lomachenko's hard punches taking a toll. You know, he's got Japanese blood, high cheeks, and he's got Mexican blood, high cheeks. And he's got Lomachenko's punches on top of both of them, which have given him the chipmunk look right now. A good round for Koasicha, but not enough for him to win the round. But it's a fight. Now, in a manner of speaking, this is where Lomachenko may take the gloves off.
Right.
Not literally, but
Let him go.
he'll come out and let his hands fly. There's some action back and forth here. Lomachenko lands a couple of shots. That was over on the far side. And he ends up with a really good body shot, as I recall. Let's see if we see it here now. Body shot right after that. That was just two different views of the same action. Okay, we moved to round number 4. Lomachenko turned it up in the third. Let's see if he turns it up more. Pressure here in the fourth. He was well off his stool, and he opens up with a cracking right hand shot from the southpaw. See him really stepping up into his jab now as Lomachenko. Mexican fighter would like to try and get inside this guy by coming in small and then coming upstairs over the southpaw's left hand, but the left hand of Lomachenko is so fast it's very hard for him to execute. Lomachenko's jab now has turned into a punch, as it was a feeling and positioning tool in the first round of the fight. Now it's a punch. I'll tell you one thing, the kid from Mexico has come to try and fight this guy. He's down 3 rounds to none, but he's here to fight.
Lomachenko's defense too is superior because he's just moving with every punch, like he sees it coming and he's already moving.
So the eyes are so important. The way he tucks his glove up and looks, over his glove. He does everything technically so well. Lomachenko again in their white trunks with his back to you now. Koasicha lets the right hand go, and he's cut with a few left hooks. There's the uppercut that we haven't seen yet from Lomachenko. He's got everything in the arsenal. He's in cruise control right now, boxing and boxing. This is another uppercut up the right hand of Lomachenko. There's his hand speed there in a 3-punch combination. And for a kid that's as tough as this Mexican fighter, he just took a hellacious left hand, which is the power shot for Lomachenko.
Yeah, he's taken quite a few of those so far tonight already. Some pretty good swelling underneath the right eye of Koasicha from those strong lefts from Vasyl Lomachenko.
Look at that move, the way he stepped around. That's really, really good footwork by Lomachenko. And that's what separates him from the other featherweights in the world today, I believe. That ability to move around. And he believes 100% in the footwork. That's how you can set up blindside punches, and that's what he wanted to do there. But that's just great footwork. Lomachenko with a closing 14, 13, 12 seconds in this round. Just outboxing this guy. There's the hand speed of Lomachenko, which gets the crowd into it. Lomachenko giving the boxing lesson right now.
I hate to turn it a little.
footwork and hand speed. He turns it up in the fourth. Let's see if he turns it up another notch. Is there another notch, Christina? You've seen it work out.
I definitely think so. And talking with, I guess, Klimas' manager, he says we've maybe seen 30% of what he thinks Lomachenko is capable of doing so far throughout his professional career. So we've only seen 30%. My goodness. We're in for a treat.
No te confíes, hay que montar la guardia.
Doing that footwork that I want you to see again. Out here. The shot was tight there, so we didn't actually get to see how slick it was. But you get, here we go. Now we got it for you. Watch this. And he steps behind him and then tries to blindside him. The right hand, he tried to take the vision away. Watch this with the left hand, and then he lets the right hand go, but didn't catch him.
And then he's moving to the right, but then he comes back with the left.
But he's totally blindsided him, and it's almost like he's behind him when he let that right hand go. All right, here we go. This is round number 5. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Christina Pacha. Watching top-ranked boxing around the world. Glad that you can be with us. Vasyl Lomachenko in the white trunks. Sort of giving a boxing lesson to a very tough Mexican fighter named Romulo Koasicha. Koasicha's a tough kid. He's in against one of the very best featherweights in the world. In fact, the reigning WBO featherweight champion of the world. Lomachenko would love to fight Rigondeaux, but he said, you know, they've talked to him several times and just nothing seems to ever come together with him. And Guillermo was actually stripped of the title because he didn't defend his title.
He was, and Bob Arum was asked a lot about that this week, and in fact said, you know, he's confident that they can make the fight happen. So the fighters have exchanged a bit on Twitter, but that doesn't count for anything.
Well,
they need to come to the...
anybody can make the fight, right. Bob Arum, Todd DeBuff, the whole crowd of matchmakers at Top Rank, they can do it. Lomachenko just continues to shine here in round number 5, winning every round of the fight this far. Oh, he lets his hands go, and then all of a sudden he'll sit down on a real hard punch. And this straight left hand right down the middle. And there's that slick footwork again, where he steps by him. And look at this. Look at the way he moves, making this guy miss. And this is frustrating for the Mexican-style fighter.
Right.
He's going to fight more like a Mexican now and come in and just, you know, he's got to make it a dirty, ugly fight on the inside. He can't box this guy outside, or he's just going to get picked off like this. Lomachenko's a master boxer with as good a footwork as you'll see in boxing today.
Without a doubt. He likes to refer to himself as a boxer painter in terms of showing immaculate speed, footwork, and punching power. Really demonstrating more of an art form in the ring because he really does appreciate the sweet science, and you can tell just by the way that he prepares himself.
No, but his footwork lines him up for shots. He hasn't quite been able to land the big right hand that he wants to land when he does that little dip to the right over and from behind the left shoulder of his opponent. But it'll be there. He knows what he's doing. There's this, I mean, he's not just doing things like a street fight. He's doing things with an idea of what he wants to accomplish 2 or 3 punches after what he does with his feet. Meanwhile, Romulo continues to fight as best he can against a master boxer. This is tough and frustrating for a kid as tough as Koasicha. It's another masterful round of boxing as the bell gets ready to sound. Round number 5. Vasyl Lomachenko boxing lesson. 50-45. He's won all 5 of the first 5 rounds of the scheduled 12-round world title fight.
Lo dejas hacer. Suéltale más, suéltale más. Está bien el movimiento que estás haciendo.
Look of panic on the face of Koasicha.
Не начинай боковой. Боковой он садится низко. Его надо снизу поймать.
Понял?
Попробуй где-то 4-5 сделать такие. Растянул.
Coming up to round number 6. Sponsor Wyndham Las Vegas. It's WY. The Wynn Hotel. And our host for the entire Top Rank and all the boxing staff and officials. as we move to round number 6 from the Thomas & Mack Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Lomachenko in the white trunks. His footwork has been brilliant. I hope that you folks that are watching can appreciate what you're seeing and the skill of this fighter, because he's in there against a relatively unknown, in fact, I would say an unknown Mexican fighter, but a very good, tough Mexican-style fighter who's come, and he's not, you know, he's not overwhelmed by Lomachenko, although his boxing skill certainly isn't in the same league with Lomachenko, at least to this point. I got to tell you, guys in the ring today, I mean, let's talk about it. Pacquiao doesn't have that kind of footwork. Mayweather didn't have that kind of footwork.
String it out.
Very slick, but nobody that I can think of in recent years has this kind of footwork that this guy capitalizes on.
Oh, and it's almost like he's just in there toying with them. He's holding the glove out there. He's winding it up back here. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, Lomachenko just looks like he's really enjoying himself. And the other guy's working as hard as he possibly can to see if there's anything that he can capitalize on. But as he goes to throw and commit to a left hook, all of a sudden Lomachenko's not there anymore.
Well, it's like he's punching and he's already moving before the punch lands, so he's not there anymore for the counter. And that's one thing, you know, Pacquiao does well, is working those angles, like punching well on the move, and Lomachenko's got that down in only 4 professional fights.
Let him go, let him go, let him go. Suéltalo.
Excuse me.
Suéltalo, there you go.
Crowd is into it, cheering it. I can't quite understand what they're saying, but they're... Oh, look at this guy. Hand speed. Right back comes the Mexican fighter. He's tough. Ukrainian is sensation. Lomachenko speed backs him with the jabbing hand, and then he looks to throw a power shot but doesn't let it go. Total command. There he comes with that half uppercut, half hook. There's that side step around that left shoulder again. Sooner or later, when he does one of those moves, Koasicha, he's going to catch him with the right hand. And that's when he'll drop it.
You just get a feeling it's just a matter of time. I mean, but not every fight's been a knockout. He has gone the distance.
Because he's a master boxer.
So he's fine with that.
I mean, I could watch this all night. I mean, this is just great.
Oh, without a doubt.
Great to watch. As the bell sounds, round number 6 is in the books for Lomachenko. Well, he's won the first 6.
Не старайся
54.
Ты начинаешь быстро, точно, все проходит. Только ты начинаешь выцеливать все. Попробуй. Чего ты не пробуешь, Вася? Правда, к чему ты говоришь?
Take a look at the replay. He makes this guy miss. He makes him pay. Jabs. Gets a piece of his body. And look at the way Koasicha has to cover up, because that hurt him. The right hand body shot. This guy's face doesn't look as fresh as it did a round or so ago now, because he took some hard body shots in that round. He's slowly getting broken down by the skill boxing skill of Lomachenko. And I give this kid all the credit in the world, because he's come to fight. He prepared himself to fight. It's very, very hard to be in the same league with this guy. Lomachenko tries to double a jab, and he does. But he's so quick in and out, Christina, too, that, I mean, when Koasicha comes forward, I mean, he slips back just a half step, and then he's right back on top of him again. Look at that. 3 punches in a row downstairs. The punches counted by Romulo a block. And he moves, kind of slides past him across in front of his body, lets the right hand go. These are all moves that eventually he's going to catch guys with. Well, and eventually he's going to catch this guy.
Yeah, and it was a complete 360. He had him turned, and they're right back to where they started. It's beautiful. It's like he puts him where he wants him.
And look at the way he slid in front of him again and got in position to really commit to the uppercut. And now he's in position with his elbow turn, commits with the uppercut again, smacks him with a hard left hand behind that right ear. Lomachenko just really seems to enjoy what he's doing to this guy. And I feel bad for Koasicha because, I mean, he's come to fight this guy and it's impossible. Look at this. Wow. This is classic stuff by Lomachenko. Lines up, lets it go. Uppercut. All these punches are landing now. Face is getting more puffy. Right back up at his toes. Romulo taking a lot of punishment right now. Downstairs to the body. When his hands come back down, Lomachenko comes back upstairs. Again, it's set up by just classic footwork. Some of the best footwork I've seen in a lot of years. Sounds like there's a lot of Russian people here that get some Russian chant for Lomachenko.
That's what it sounds like. And he's going to continue to just build his fan base with performances like this.
Well, this is being telecast in the United States on HBO, and along with Gennady Golovkin and fighters of that nature, you know, people are going to want to see this guy again, Kovalov. I mean, the Eastern European fighters, starting with the heavyweight champion of the world, are just dominating in so many divisions right now.
Well, and speaking of Kovalev, who did Lomachenko say was his favorite fighter right now?
Yeah, he said that. Well, isn't he a stablemate too?
Yeah, he is. They have the same manager. Max Kellerman quickly from HBO here in the States said, well, outside of your stablemate, he said, no, I think he's the best fighter right now, so. But he said it's hard. It's hard to pick one person because so many different boxers do one thing well. He says it's hard to choose who's the most complete.
I got to be honest with our viewers. This is the best I've seen Lomachenko fight. You know, we talked about, and you brought up the fact that he had the hand problem against Chumlateran his last time out. Then he had, you know, just a war from a very experienced, real tough Mexican fighter when he fought Salido. And here he is just in total control. He had beaten this kid up. Hard right hand, left hook.
Well, and even in the fight against Gary Russell Jr., which he ended up winning by majority decision, but I think that the scorecards did not reflect how wide of a margin he really beat him. So, I mean, even though many people and even him bring up the Salido fight, he's like, I'll fight Gary Russell Jr. again too, because I know I beat him more handedly than what the judges gave me credit for. And you know, maybe they're not used to his style or used to seeing a guy fight the way that he does, but how do you not clearly see he's winning these rounds in dominant fashion?
Well, I see it very clearly here, and as you said, against Salido, it was harder to see because of the way Salido fought him. Against Gary Russell, I thought it was clear to me that he won the decision, and at least two of the judges saw it what I would say the proper way. But this fight is just a sensational performance by Lomachenko. He's going to make a lot of money in this sport, I'll tell you, because he's not going to stay at featherweight forever. He's going to move up. He's 27, but you got to remember he's a young 27 because he's never been beat up. He's never had a tough fight. I mean, in the amateurs, you get your headgear, you get all of that stuff going for you. So this makes him a young 27.
And he's in such great physical condition, and his stamina and his endurance and the rounds that he goes in the gym. It's like that's the only sort of wear and tear he has, and he just loves it. He swims. He's just an athlete.
He caught him with a low blow, and he realized he did. Mexican fighter didn't complain at all because he's tough.
He is tough, and you can see the wear and tear starting to really show on the face of Koasicha, but he's in there to fight. And as much as boxing fans may think, oh, Vasyl should get this guy out of here, I mean, this guy's standing in there and giving it back to him, even though he's taking more than he's giving. He's showing his grit.
Absolutely right, Christina. There's no quitting the Koasicha. I mean, I really, really feel bad for him because he's just totally outclassed here tonight. He's such a nice kid. He's so tough, and just nothing is going his way tonight. And it can't go his way tonight because he just doesn't have the skill to hang in there. And we're going to see more of this in this featherweight division. It's just a question of time how long he wants to stay at featherweight before he moves up, and each time he moves up, it's a different test. I mean, as a lightweight, Roberto Duran was the greatest fighter I ever saw, and then he was a little bit less, even though he was great all the way up in various different titles that he won. But he wasn't ever the super fighter that he was as a lightweight, where, you know, I consider him the greatest lightweight maybe that ever lived.
And you look at a guy like Pacquiao, who starts at the extremely lightweight 105,
105 and went to 154.
And was more successful the more he moved up, at least at 140.
Lomachenko just continues to outbox this guy. 30 seconds to go in the 8th round. It's all Lomachenko. Nice slick move by Koasicha to get out of there. But, I mean, when he's on the ropes, this is not a great place to be. He's just sitting there. Lomachenko just, you know, kind of speed bags him and then sits down on 1 or 2 punches. And, you know, that shot, just like that left hand to the body in the solar plexus, that's a punch that hurts. I mean, if Koasicha wasn't in such great shape, that could drop a guy. But of course, our main event coming up features Brandon Rios and Timothy Bradley. And there's Teddy Atlas, who's working with Timothy Bradley. Teddy totally committed to his fighter, almost to the point of being emotional when we talked to him yesterday.
It's crazy how close in just the 7 weeks that they've worked together, how much they just read each other's minds.
And here's the other guy who is going to come at him with everything he's got.
Yeah, Brandon Rios, other situation. He's been with Robert Garcia his whole career. And you know what to expect from Brandon Rios. You know the way he fights. He's going to come forward, he's going to put pressure, and he's going to try to break down Timothy Bradley. The question is, what will Timothy Bradley bring tonight? That's what we don't know.
That's what we don't know. And at some stage, you know, 7 weeks in training with Teddy, he's going to try to follow the fight plan. But at some stage, Timothy Bradley's going to fight like Timothy Bradley. I'm totally convinced of that. Unless Teddy's a total guru. We'll find out tonight. All right, here we go. Round number 9 as the mouthpiece is back in. Lomachenko opens up with a very stiff jab and then the straight left hand down the middle. Now Koasicha gets out in the center of the ring, which is probably his best chance, but he needs to try to get inside. And, you know, I've said that throughout, but I mean, it's next to impossible to get inside of this guy. You move inside and he steps around you.
Look at the way he's moving. It's like he's on skates, almost. The way he shifts.
It's just got terrific footwork. I mean, I'm just hard pressed. I can't think of anybody that I can recall that had, you know, this kind of footwork. Sweet Pea Whitaker, if you go back a few years, moved very well. Julio Cesar Chavez is a step around. Other guys that come to mind that were very technical, great in the feet, the Hall of Famer Ricardo El Finito Lopez. They could move like this. Vasyl just, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a fighter move this well.
Feet going one way, hands going one way, torso this way. I mean, it's like he's in 3 different places.
Bounces to his right, back to his left, lets the right hand go, comes back with the left hand to the body, shoots a straight left hand down the middle, right there. I mean, he just does so many different things, and we've seen his uppercut 3 or 4 times tonight, which has been effective. And that step around is just, for me, phenomenal, because sooner or later, if this wasn't such a very good opponent, this kid hasn't won around yet, but he's tough. Look at the way he ducked that time and exchanged everything. It wasn't there. He didn't catch him with the uppercut because the kid was able to get away from it. And then he uses the back of his glove to try and move the head to cut loose with the right hand. I mean, all these things are by design. Dips his right shoulder, comes right back up with a half uppercut. See that? And the Mexican fighter is trying to do the best he can do, because the thing to do when a guy's, you know, bends down in front of you is to try and get down with him and then come up with something overhand. He's trying to do it, But when he does it, you know, you just get a little dip to the right that you just saw there. A dipsy doodle to the right and back, and Lomachenko is relentless in the amount of punches that he throws. So the closing seconds now of the 9th round, and this is a tremendous boxing lesson that he's given this kid. A couple of hard left hooks, and that left hook has been the best punch for Koasicha throughout the course of the evening, but he's only landed, I would guess, what, 5 or 6 times?
Yeah, he's landed it a couple times.
Yeah.
Earlier in the fight, he caught Vasyl, which gave Vasyl a tiny little bump under his right eye with that left. So, but that's about it. It's not enough.
We welcome everybody to Las Vegas, Nevada, on a beautiful November evening. It's cooled off in the desert now, and it's beautiful outside. And it's perfect for boxing inside here at the Thomas & Mack Center. I got it 90-81 with 3 rounds to go. This is
Он ничего не делает,
Lomachenko.
его задача выжить, твоя задача его раскрыть. Поэтому не получить. Набросать, он должен ошибиться. Ты найдешь его. А скорость нужна, повторный тайм.
Deep breath.
Понимаешь?
Again.
So we get ready to move to the 10th round. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan along with Christina Poncha. Hope you're enjoying it. Vasyl Lomachenko in the white trunks putting on a technical show here tonight. Now, one thing they say in a main event that Tim Bradley is going to be a much more technical fighter, much smarter fighter. And Tim is a very smart fighter anyway, but he can be dragged into a brawl. Will Rios be successful in dragging him into it? In this fight, neither fighter has been down. Nobody's been shaken. A little bit of puffiness by both of the eyes, below both of the eyes of Koasicha. Vasyl has a little bit of puffiness below his right eye, and that left hook has caught him a couple of times, but it hasn't shifted him at all. Look at another thing, folks. We have the tight shots of the eyes of Lomachenko. Look how he concentrates, and his eyes are so important to him because he's on the move all the time, but he never seems to be out of position to let his punch go. See the way he cuts the ring off? He just does everything, you know, boxing-wise, just perfect. On the assault all the time, putting pressure on Koasicha. Koasicha wanted to try to pressure this guy, but he just can't.
Get up, get off the neck.
Robert Byrd right on top of him. Try to muscle him around with that forearm on the neck. Robert Byrd, the Hall of Fame referee, says, get off the neck. He hasn't had to do much. These guys' hands have been free most of the fight.
It's completely opposite than our last fight.
You know, I mean, Kenny Bayless in the last fight had no choice, but Robert Byrd showing he's a good referee, just getting out of the way.
Yeah, when you don't have to say their name or bring them up, you know it's a good fight. They're doing their job.
Look at this. Look at the hand speed. And look at the Mexican battle back.
He's giving it back. I mean, which has prevented any sort of stoppage in this fight, because anytime he does look like he's getting caught up, he'll give a few back, so they let him continue.
And he's, you know, he's brought out the best in Lomachenko too, because this kid is more than just a pretty good fighter. I think he's a decent fighter. Talking about Koasicha.
I think Koasicha's pretty much spent at this point, though.
Oh yeah, he's totally spent. I mean, he's been beat up in this fight. And then finally the body shot catches him, and down he goes. It goes up to 3 and 4. He should be able to get up at 8 if he wants to.
6.
He spits out the mouthpiece.
I think he's done.
8. 9.
Yeah, he is. It's all over.
Very smart.
Robert Byrd counts him out, and it was just an accumulation of punches. Vasyl Lomachenko, nothing short of brilliant.